Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I am Flash, and thank you for joining me for another Marvel Snap video. And this one, we have an update to one of my own special cooks here. Update to the Zoo deck, Unleash the Herd. This is Volume 2 or Version 2 or whatever you want to call it. But without further ado, let's get right into the deck. And this is the deck, everybody, but before we get into the breakdown and what we're doing here, as always, if you could like, subscribe, share this stuff out, I very much appreciate it. Let's keep the growth train alive and well. Thank you very much. Now, this is Unleash the Herd, version 2. We've made some updates, right? And it is still very much a Zoo deck. It is still looking to do the big splash of power at the end of the game, thanks to Black Swan and being able to get all your ones out for free. You are always throwing priority, but I snuck a card in here just recently after the recent update. The patch, Moon Knight only hits even cost cards. And if you'll notice, you will see that aside from one of our also recent inclusions, Ravonna, she was not in the original build, is the only even cost card in this deck. Now you want her down on 2, and you will play her on 3 if you get her. But if not, you're safe to play Moon Knight on turn 3 or 4, right? Now, if you play him on turn 6, then he has no value. He's just sitting on the bench. But when making adjustments to this deck, Bishop was often like a 3-5 or a 6 or a 7, at best 3-7, like, right? And, I start to play around with other cards that are in the similar range value, right? Cassandra Nova on turn 3, but we're throwing priority, so we don't want Cassandra Nova on turn 3. And we also look at like Wolfsbane at the end of the game, takes advantage of what Ravonna does. You can play Wolfsbane as 2-1, but again, similar average value output as Bishop. So then brings me to Moon Knight, card that I very much you'd want to play on turn 3, is going to trade potentially more than that 3-6, 3-7, right? Because it's already a 3-3, and it's going to potentially punch up, whether that be just flat out disruption or just straight away big power. If Moon Knight clips a blob, you're trading a lot, right? Or any big 6 cost card, if Moon Knight happens to clip, it's way punching above that 3-6, 3-7 value. So I think you're trading a bigger punch of trying to shoot for a ceiling in a sense. But I think even the trade-off of average power, even if Moon Knight hits something that's like a 2-3 or 2-4 or whatever the case may be, or a 4-2, 4-3, it's a Shang-Chi, that's big trade-off, but it's still giving you the same range of that 3-6, 3-7, 3-5 that you would get from a Bishop or a Wolfsbane anyway. So Moon Knight, because you're going to get better disruption and you might be able to punch even higher than those cards potentially can. So all of that being said, that's what we're doing here, and let's get into the card by card. Now keep in mind, most of these cards are the same cards that are in the original build. If you haven't seen that deck, go check that original video out. I'll have it tagged around here somewhere, but go check that out. It's got the complete card by card breakdown. This we're gonna breeze through this. Ant-Man, you know why Ant-Man is here? It could be a 1-5. Same reason why Zero is here. You know why Zero is here? Zero is here to help you clip, whether that be the Martyr or the Titania or the Bob. Zero can cover that. Again, we're just gonna go through this. We're gonna do this very different than how we usually do things. Hydra Bob. If you don't have Hydra Bob, put in Rocket Raccoon. If you whiff, it's gonna suck, but at the same time, if you don't have Bob, you don't have Bob. You can replace it with Rocket Raccoon. Straight up. Martyr. Decent value. Just make sure Martyr gets trickier if you don't zero her. Right, so if you don't zero Martyr, you need to make sure you filled the board out, or you've really placed things in a strategic way where she's not going to jump and lose you the game, because she will do it. Titania, yeah, 1-5, play it. So one of the newer inclusions, Ravonna. In the original build, I was looking for adjustments to make that helped another pattern late game punch, right? Another late game punch. And what could that be? And it ends up always being Iron Man. But like, how do you further take advantage of Iron Man? Yes, Iron Man as just a 5 with a bunch of 0 cost 1s can still go nutty. But a 4 cost Iron Man goes even nuttier. So yeah, a Ravonna. And of course, if you're talking about Ravonna, you're talking about Iron Man, Mystique. Because think about a turn 6 with Ravonna on the board, and you've played Black Swan on turn 5 that exists, where you play Iron Man into Mystique and a bunch of 1-drops that cost 0. That's an output of power that nobody can calculate on the fly, okay? And your opponent's not expecting it, and that's a big output of power when you're playing a bunch of 1/5s plus 2 Iron Men, if you will. Like, 2 Iron Man effects plus a bunch of 5 1-drops is very, very good. Just, my god. And of course, we got Sage. Sage was here already. She's another card that benefits from Ravonna. She gets to be a 2/0 and do whatever else you need to do on that last turn of the game. Even if you didn't hit the 1s, you know, you didn't hit Black Swan, but maybe you hit you have Ravonna on the board, you can still go Iron Man and Sage on the last turn of the game. You can do things. You can still do things that are very good in this game. Hitmonkey, because Hitmonkey was the main line win con with Black Swan played on turn 5, Hitmonkey on turn 6 with all your 1s. And that still is a thing. And that still is a main line target. But now it has a good backup plan where you have Ravonna, you got Iron Man, you got Sage. Well, Sage was always Sage plus Hitmonkey was always a thing you wanted to do on turn 6 anyway. But you have Iron Man and Mystique for backup now. So now you're like, okay, well, how big can Hitmonkey get? Okay, this is not a Hitmonkey game. This is now an Iron Man game. Alternate win conditions are very, very good. And Moon Knight, new inclusion, for everything that I said before, right? It can give you better or similar average output in value to Bishop, to Wolfsbane, right? Other cards that were potentially in this slot. I replaced Bishop for this card specifically because Moon Knight gives you the potential of hitting higher than that. The Moon Knight clipping any 6 cost from their side of the board that they put into their deck, not an Arisham thing, is very good and almost a win condition, like a snap condition, right there on turn 3. And a lot of the time they hit a null. If you hit a null or a whatever, right, a death, or Moon Knight can be very, very good now as just a flat out tech card and not in a hard discard build. Try it. Black Swan, she was here before. The whole foundation crux of the deck is built around Black Swan. You know this already. Iron Man, for everything that I've said before. Iron Man without Ravonna with 0 1s is very good. Okay, so 0 cost 1s, right? Iron Man just always goes so hard in this, and Iron Man's gonna go even harder when Agent Venom comes out. Remember who said it first? No, I didn't say it first. Other people said, okay, let's get some gameplay with this. All right, let's go. So we have our first game here on stream, on video with this deck. Oh, that's not it. So again, just like before, you are charged with just floating until your large turn 6 play. Like, that's what the deck is designed to do. We now have Moon Knight, right? And as I said, Moon Knight offers unique value here in this deck specifically as a non-discard deck, alright, well, see, now we have more of a problem. Elysium now makes Moon Knight much, much worse. Because now most of our, pretty much 98% of our deck was free from being hit by Moon Knight, such is now not the case. So I can't even play Moon Knight because it's going to hit one of my good cards. So I literally can't do anything with Moon Knight now, which kind of sucks, but because we might have got a good hit. But who knows? Because they're playing Arsham, so that's up in the air.
I am Iron Man.
That works for us. I'm fine with that. I just kind of lose the Mystique play now because we didn't play anything. So like Mystique is not going to hit Iron Man. And that's quite literally her only target outside of Ravonna. And you don't really care necessarily to do that, as I mentioned. I guess I'm pretty sure I mentioned that. Well, if I didn't mention it, I'm mentioning it now. Doc Ock. New Doc Ock. Arguably better than the card was before. Except you run into doing stuff like this and, you know, you pull your opponent's Iron Man, which is not good for you. I mean, we don't even really, because of Elysium, we don't even really need to wait for Black Swan, but we have her anyway, so she's just 2/4, so that's just good. Let's put her over here, maybe. Sure. Now we have to remember not to play an ongoing card in the middle lane, i.e. Ant-Man. Okay, do we want Bob to move? Probably not. So here's what we do here. They've got the She-Hulk there, so we're gonna do this plus this. And I mean, we can Moon Knight now, but you know, it's not gonna do much ultimately. And Mystique over here just cuz. If we had Hitmonkey, this would have been, you know, nice, a much nicer play. Can we beat that? I'm honestly not sure. And this is why I like, you know, having Iron Man as a last turn play. Yeah, I'm not sure we can beat that. Mainly because Sage ties and we don't have enough to win the tiebreaker in the right lane. Mainly because, you know, Cassandra Nova really hurt us with the -1. Hitting the Iron Man for the -1 affects all our power, just like the Bob. The 1 point here is all that matters in the difference in this middle lane match. Well done nonetheless. Next one. You know, it's funny how in that last matchup, the singular card that was the difference in the game was Cassandra Nova. Just that one card alone made enough of a difference on the board state to swing the whole entire, you know, outcome of the game. So remember that when you're evaluating your cards. 1 point of power matters so much, and Cassandra gives you so much value. Even if she's not a 320 or some silly number against Arishem, remember, she's a 3/7 on board, but understand how much more she's affecting the game because of how she's affecting your opponent for that minus power. So she's more than 3/7. She's giving you, every time they play one of those cards, her power goes up. Her overall power value goes up. 2, 4. So, well, good thing we got Moon Knight, so we can just play that. It'll hit the Absorbing Man, but I kind of don't care. Let's put that here. Again, maybe I should put it in the left lane. Okay, that's fine. Perfect. Because again, we're Bryo. But we can hit their Gwenpool. There goes my Absorbing Man. We can beat this deck. It's not the best matchup, but we can beat it. Now let's... Excuse me. Hopefully you didn't actually hear. Hopefully you didn't actually have to hear that. Let's put Ravonna over here. Because by the time we get to the end game, we can put whatever we want into Vibranium Mines. That's fine. So now we want Iron Man probably in the left lane here at the end. Okay, so this no Black Swan is problematic. So now we are in a position that we're just gonna put Iron Man and probably Titania. We want to have as many options as possible going into the last turn here. So there's a good chance that we just outright win the left lane. We just have to do enough power-wise mid to eclipse what's coming down here, which could be Shaw plus Surfer plus, you know, their options. Mystique is great, but I'm not sure if we're gonna have, well, Mystique, without Zero, Martyr is just so much worse. So we can go Bob, Sage, and Hitmonkey, but that's probably not enough power in this middle lane, especially if they come with Shaw. We'll try it. Martyr is we're gonna lose this game because of Martyr, but we'll, for science, always for science. Martyr with that, this is and Hitmonkey just doesn't get big enough there otherwise. You know what's fine, let's put Bob here plus Hitmonkey and Sage here. Whatever. That's probably our best total output of power option. And if that's just Shaw into, yeah, there was no, we didn't have the end line we needed to get through that. Oh, Titania. Oh, that's unfortunate for us though, because she's gonna bounce, she's gonna go twice. Dang, we could have won that actually if she didn't. Wow, we got, without Surfer, this is not a guarantee win for them, but this is why Martyr is sometimes right. That's why I say Martyr is much worse than Bob, because you can't control what she's gonna do. You're like, yeah, you have to hope for the best, which is usually you losing. All right, next game. All right, Millstone is the taco truck. All right, well, we got Ravonna for turn 2, which is nice. You know, we're running into that unfortunate, and everybody's playing the Surfer stuff right now, but we're just running into that unfortunate circumstance. Like, we beat these decks, but it's just tough. If we can get Black Swan down next turn, we can steal this game, because we can play Iron Man on turn 4 with a Chimichanga. We just need Black Swan right here, right now, when we didn't get it. That's okay. And now Moon Knight we can't play, so let's disregard that. How about this? How about we zero Martyr now, and then we can Iron Man Chimichanga somewhere next turn. Now they have a very good end line as well. If they could just go Brood or Shaw into Surfer, they could just go ahead and swoop the dub. And now if they have the Killmonger, now my Martyr is in danger because I don't have the, I couldn't do the I'm gonna wait till the last turn of the game strategy. 3-2. There's a case to be made where nope, that's not an option. I mean, nah, that's too risky. Let's just do this. It's not good. Yeah, it's Gwenpool. Running into the consistent bad circumstances. This time it was TVA. I am Iron Man. Sometimes this is how it works out. This is why I like to show all of this, because this is what happens. This is the ebb and flow of how Marvel Snap functions. Let's go another one. You know, you take your low stake losses, your 1 cube, you go ahead and you retreat and get to the next one. You take your high cube equity gains, 4 cube wins, and you snap appropriately when your deck is gonna do its thing, and that's how you climb. Now we didn't retreat out of several of those games. Pretty much all 3 of these games, except maybe one of them, I would have retreated out of. But you know, nobody wants to watch games of me retreating. But understand that I guess 2 out of 3 of those games were definitive retreat moments, or arguably all 3 of them. Oh yeah, we just play Moon Knight now. Good. Get him down the left lane since we can't play any ones there, which is a significant thing, and they didn't have any even cost cards in their hand. Awesome. Love that. That's okay. Viper's fine because we can still win this lane without a problem. Shuri's Lab is very nice. We're still not playing anything, but Shuri's Lab is good. Not great for Sage, but very good for Hitmonkey. Ant-Man, that's fine as long as we get Black Swan. If we get Black Swan, that's fine. Iron Man. I'll tell you what. Because we can Iron Man mid and still maintain Prio. Problem is we can't play any of our ones over here. And they're sure to have, what, I got 1 demon? How many ones can we put in this lane next turn? 0 Titania. 0 Titania Ant-Man. We gotta just put Iron Man down now. We still maintain throwing Prio. We lose Titania, which hurts. They can play Stature. Ravonna is much late to the party. And being able to like Mystique 0 Ant-Man is not exactly great. Yeah, we're probably just fried here. Again. Hey, this is how the cookie crumbles in this game. And I got this, and it's a lot of nope. A lot of just no, that's not good. Sage is arguably the play here, but definitively doesn't get us the win. If they avoid the left lane, we can sneak this, but that's a huge risk. That's a huge risk. But I know how we do here. We'll take the risk. We'll risk it for the biscuit, right? Maybe they avoid the left lane. They do not. There's Darkhawk. Yeah, look how easy of a win this would have been. I just put my ones down into Lake Hellas. Easy stuff. Easy win. But that's okay. You assume they for sure are going to avoid Shuri's Lab. But I had to try to hedge the bets. And because Titania got, like, if Titania didn't get hit by Black Bolt, I would have been able to do something different where I was like, okay, I could have put 0 Titania down mid with Sage in the right lane. Would that have been enough? You're talking about 5, what are they, 5, 10, 7, 14, minus the 113. Arguably, that would have been enough by itself. But, well, that's what I say, 0 though. Nah, not the 0, because 0 is not a 1-5. It's okay. It just doesn't always work out in your favor. You have to accept that. Alright, let's do one more. You have to understand and be willing to take the wins with the losses. Because if you don't, you're going to feel pigeonholed into playing only one style of deck or whatever the case may be. Alright, so we have a much better... We got Black Swan. That's the main win condition, but we haven't even been hitting the secondary win conditions. So like, this is why these games specifically in this video have been going this way. So now we have to play something, which given the fact that we'll still be able to maintain throwing priority, we can put down Ant-Man. I'm fine with putting down like Ant-Man, which again, I've said before. Now we can play Moon Knight, right? Safely still. Put down Moon Knight over here. And again, here's this Cassandra Nova again to terrorize us. If this ends up being some sort of Sandman deck, which generally is not the case in a deck that has Angela. So we'll see. There's Gwenpool. There goes their Shang-Chi, which is irrelevant to me. I don't, my game is not cruxed on that, so it's not a big deal. So we're gonna put Black Swan over here. Now, we have a couple of directions we can go with this, which is to put Iron Man with my ones in the left lane, probably the first option, and just put a couple of ones with that right lane stuff. All right, what is this? Copycat? What did they take from me? Jeff? Oh, they got my Ravonna. Okay. The enabler of this, one of the secondary win conditions. So it's either the ones and Hitmonkey. Nah, because we want Iron Man to be able to go bigger. So let's do this. We lose a lot of whatever, but it's fine. Because we can do this. Here. Here. And here. That's arguably enough power to win. But we don't do the math, so... Oh, they filled that location as well. So now we're just fighting for total power at this point. Nobody played anything mid, which I probably should. I was gonna sneak a 5 into one of in that mid location, but it's fine. Let's see how we do with that last card. Is that flip 38-7? Yep. we arguably didn't have to go this route. We could have just put one of these 5s over here, but sometimes you just doing the fight for total power, but over 2 lanes. All right, let's close this out. All right, so you see even in that last game there that sometimes you have to merge the two first and secondary kind of win conditions and make something work for you. They're interchangeable pieces. This is something that when it goes off, it really goes off. Unfortunately, you didn't get to see it completely go off, but you saw the pieces of what works here and there and what could occur if you put those things together. Nevertheless, still a very strong deck. We'll still be positioned well. Watch out for Killmongers, but again, like I said, we're throwing priority, so I gotta worry about that next week. We got all the Marvel Boy stuff people are gonna be doing, so watch out for that because it's kind of the opposite style of Zoo deck to what we are doing here in this and the previous build of this deck. But yeah, that's it. Appreciate y'all hanging out, checking this one out. I got more coming, promise, right? Make sure you like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Goes a long way, as I keep saying. I will always say it. Thank you guys very much. I'm Flash. Catch y'all on the next one. Peace.